If you want to burn more fat in your sleep, not with hype, but with science, this video lays out the only proven ways to do it. One of these habits even help participants lose 6 times more fat than a placebo. And most people have never even heard of it. So I'll walk you through all 10, starting with the most foundational and then ending with one that even shocked me when I saw the research. If you want to lose fat while you sleep, habit number 1 is where it starts. With enough sleep and the right kind of sleep, you can achieve this, because if your sleep isn't right, your hormones aren't right. And when your hormones are off, your body holds on to fat no matter what else you're doing. Research shows the lowest body fat shows up when people sleep between 8 to 8.5 hours a night. Now, if you go below 7, for most people, body fat can tend to increase by about 1.2% for every hour of sleep that you lose. But if you go past 8.5 hours, it isn't much better. Body fat starts climbing again when you oversleep. So the goal is that sweet spot, 8 to 8.5 hours a night. But it's not just about how long you sleep. Quality matters just as much. If you want to reach better fat burning while you sleep, slow wave or delta sleep is the key. That's the deep restorative stage of sleep. It's when your growth hormone is released and when your body burns through the stored fat. It taps into it. Without it, fat burning slows way down. Even if your diet and your workouts are on point, if you're not hitting that deep sleep, it slows down. After 45 especially, sleep gets much lighter. Melatonin, your sleep hormone, drops naturally. You wake up more, and deep sleep becomes harder to reach. That's why you have to protect it by winding down earlier, lowering the lights, shutting off the screens, setting up the space that actually helps you rest. And the more consistent that you are with your routine, the easier it's going to be for your body to shift into fat burning mode while you sleep. And no, you can't just make up for it on the weekend. Catching up doesn't undo all the damage that you missed from not sleeping all week. Your body runs on a rhythm. It needs consistency. Habit number 2, consistent bedtime. Let's build on that consistency. That rhythm that your body depends on, it's just not about total hours. It's about how and when those hours happen. So going to bed at the same time every single night helps regulate melatonin, which is necessary to burn fat while you're asleep. Cortisol, your stress hormone, which can cause you to hold on to the fat that you have, and also insulin's in play, which tells your body to store fat when it's elevated. So one study showed that when bedtime or wake up time swings by more than 90 minutes a day, one night you're at 10, the next night you're at 11:30, your body fat increased by 2 to 3%. Even when total sleep hours stayed the exact same, that consistency, that rhythm is key. It's because irregular sleep throws off the internal clock, which in turn throws off those hormones. So here's the fix. Set a sleep alarm at night if you're a person that's guilty of this, not just in the morning. Use it to start your wind down time at the start of every single day. Lights low, screens off, body relaxed. And don't just fix the bedroom, fix the wake up time too. Keep both within 60-minute windows if you can, even on weekends. That consistency resets your internal rhythm. It's all about those hormones. And that one habit alone can lower body fat without changing anything else. Habit 3, keep the bedroom cool. Once your sleep schedule is steady, the next step is to create the kind of environment that actually helps your body burn fat. This is super interesting. One of the biggest factors most people overlook is temperature. Cooler rooms don't just feel better, they're actually scientifically proven to support fat loss. In one study, I think my son has nailed this, people who slept in 66 degree Fahrenheit rooms for a month saw a 42% increase in brown fat, which is the kind that burns calories. They also saw a 10% boost in fat burning overnight. Just from lowering the thermostat, my son likes it right around that range. I turned mine down. Since I've seen that research, just at nighttime, I set the thermostat on a schedule and brought it down a bit. It's because your body has to work harder to stay warm, and that helps turn on the fat burning. Not only that, cooler temperatures also help you reach deeper sleep, which, if you go back up to point number 1, super critical. As we just discussed with that, the deep sleep impacts the growth hormone. It helps it to spike while you're sleeping, and that's when real fat loss happens. On the other hand, if your room's too hot, it disrupts your sleep. A lot of you know this. You toss, you turn, you wake up more often, and you even stay in light sleep stages, which means less fat burning. So if you want to aim for this temperature drop for fat burning at night, temperature around that 66 degrees, I wouldn't go too much lower than 65, 64. If you sleep hot or you deal with night sweats, especially if you're in menopause, it becomes even more important to be implementing this criteria. Cooling the room can really reduce that impact of those hot flashes on your deep sleep, which is impacting your hormones. Help your body stay in fat burning mode longer, okay? Don't just make it too cold though. Below 60 and people start to see their blood pressure go up. So if we get too low, you start waking up because you're shivering, which means you're breaking up your sleep cycle. So if the room feels too cold at night, maybe just put some socks on, right? Just holding that little bit of temperature in helps to stabilize things. Also using breathable sheets so you don't overheat under the sheets. And if you tend to sleep hot, stick one foot out or another one out under the covers. And that little bit of skin exposure will help cool your body down without waking you up. Habit 4, sleep in total darkness. Just like temperature tells your body it's time to rest, so does light, or more specifically, the lack of it. Because even small amounts of light in your bedroom at night can disrupt fat burning mode. If there's any light in your room, a lamp, a glowing clock, even a phone screen, your body can read that as daytime. And when your brain thinks it's daytime, it stops making melatonin. As we just discovered, without enough melatonin, you don't reach deep fat burning sleep. In fact, one study followed 43,000 women for nearly 6 years. Those who slept with a TV or a light in their room, 22% more likely to gain at least 11 pounds, 33% more likely to become overweight, and 17% more likely to become obese because of a light or a TV on while you're sleeping in your room. It was independent of diet. It was independent of exercise. It was just a light at night. It doesn't take much either. Even a dim nightlight or a hallway light under the door can disrupt your sleep. So here's what to do. Use blackout curtains as much as you can to plug that light, unplug or cover up the electronics that glow at nighttime. And if you need a night light for bathroom trips, use one that's maybe red or amber in color instead of a white or a blue, and make sure it's on more of a timer so it's not constantly staying on, or it's more motion based. Keep it near the floor, not near eye level. And if blackout isn't an option, try using a mask. Habit 5, limit your blue light exposure. That's what happens when light hits your eyes while you're asleep, but the light that you're exposed to before bed can be just as disruptive as having the light in your room, especially if it's coming from a screen. Talking about blue light comes from our phones, our tablets, our TVs, the LED bulbs, and it suppresses melatonin, just like sleeping with the light on does, maybe even more. One study exposed adults to 3 hours of blue light before bed, and they found that insulin resistance increased by 19%. Blood sugar spiked by 14 milligrams per deciliter, and then total insulin output rose 19%. That means your metabolism shifts towards fat storage just from evening screen time alone. I'm certainly not saying you have to cut out all forms of TV, but is there a gap between your Netflix and your phone and your computer time and when you're actually going to sleep? The bigger that gap can get, the better, the deeper the sleep will go. And it can happen just after one night. Imagine what happens if it happens every night and it stacks up over time. So the fix, shut off the screens 60 minutes, 90 minutes before bed. It includes TVs, phones, laptops, all of it. If you have to use a screen, turn on night shift mode. It's in your settings. Google it. Night shift mode flips the blue light, okay, and it puts a filter on it for yellow. I constantly have this on, and the phone is able to detect when it's nighttime. You can also put a blue light filter. I have one of those over the top of the phone, very simple screen, or you can wear blue light blocking glasses while you're watching or using the device. So while you're winding down, swap out bright overhead lighting, use more warm amber or even a red bulb, and especially in the bedroom and in the bathroom. Habit 6. Light isn't the only thing that can throw off your sleep and block fat burning, especially when you're eating your last meal super late. In one controlled study, people who ate the exact same dinner just at different times, 6 p.m. dinner versus 10 p.m. dinner, the late night group burned 10% less fat overnight. Their blood sugar levels were 15 to 20 points higher while they slept. And they saw a 30 to 50% spike in cortisol, the stress hormone that drives fat storage. Let me back this up for a second. Well, doc, I eat dinner at 6 p.m. I'm good. I don't eat at 10 p.m. No, you actually eat dinner at 6 p.m., Barry, and then you snack all the way until 10 p.m. and then go to bed. And then sadly, you're wondering why you woke up in the middle of the night with nighttime anxiety or gaps in your sleep or spiked cortisol levels, because late night eating spikes it 30 to 50%. Same food, same calories, completely different fat burning results, just based on timing alone. When you eat late, insulin stays elevated during your sleep. It prevents you from burning fat. And it happens regularly. And if you keep doing that, the effects add up, especially around the belly. So here's the fix. Close the kitchen at least 3 hours before bed. Earlier is even better. That late night snacking is getting you if you are struggling with sleep and you are struggling with fat burning. It gives your body time to finish digestion. So when you're sleeping, you're healing. You're not digesting food. Your insulin levels drop and a shift into overnight repair as fat burning mode begins. And if you're dealing with reflux or blood sugar issues, or you wake up feeling groggy, this one change alone can make all the difference with those symptoms. Habit 7, timing matters, but so does what actually is on your plate, because your last meal of the day can either support fat burning or stall it. In a 12-month study, participants followed a simple rule: at least 6 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber per 100 calories at meals. Results: average weight loss over the 12-month period, 14 pounds. The top group lost 28, actually. 78% of the weight was fat, not muscle. Inches, not just moving the scale. Why does it work? Protein keeps you full. Fiber slows down your digestion. So if you feel like you can't break your late night snacking habit, focus on dinner, protein, and fibers. Together, they help control blood sugar and they lower insulin, especially important right before bed. So build your dinner around protein and build it around fiber-based vegetables, beans, quinoas, chia seeds. Where's the fiber coming from? And am I having a good dose of clean protein? Chicken, salmon, lentils. Fiber-wise, non-starchy vegetables. I love broccoli, Brussels, spinach. I eat a lot of raw broccoli, carrots, beets. For the carbohydrates, stick to the slow digestion options. Beans, your noodles made out of beans, your crusts made out of beans, hummuses, small portions of quinoa or brown rice. These types help digest more slowly because of their fiber content. What do most people eat instead? Bread, pasta, white rice, low in protein, almost no fiber, spikes insulin almost immediately, and then it leads to fat storage mode, especially overnight, but it leads to more cravings an hour or two later. Habit 8, skipping dinner. Night fasting. I want to introduce you to night fasting. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to put aside your dinner plate and put nothing on it. Nighttime fasting, where you intentionally skip your evening meal every once in a while. It's one of the most effective ways to activate fat burning while you sleep. Inverting intermittent fasting, night fasting. I'm coining it right here. In a study of nearly 1,000 adults over the age of 50, those who started their fast earlier in the evening had a 53% lower odds of being overweight. So some of you may skip breakfast, but if you slid up dinner earlier, or even did some times where you had a late, large lunch and that was it, those who fasted later, often skipping breakfast instead, were over 3 times more likely to be obese. So that late night eating, but you begin your fast, right? The last meal of the day until the next day, doing a little earlier might get it. Another trial, in fact, showed that people who ate between only 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. lost twice as much weight, about 5.7 pounds in 8 weeks. Have you ever tried the inverse of intermittent fasting? Enjoying a good hearty breakfast, enjoying a good hearty lunch, and skipping dinner. If you're in a plateau or you want to kick up weight loss, they lost 5.7 pounds in 8 weeks compared to those that ate in the evening. We get no activity. Think about it. Skipping dinner lets insulin drop sooner, so then we can start to heal and burn fat. Gives your body hours of uninterrupted fat burning mode during sleep. And it's especially important in improving blood sugar regulation, especially if you're over the age of 45. And then if you're eating for breakfast and lunch, you've got time left in your day where you're still moving and going and you're active to burn up all of that. You don't have to do this every night. Start with a night or 2 or 3 nights a week. Make your lunch your main meal. Put a lot of focus. Really enjoy breakfast and lunch. Use it like a structured window. 8 a.m. and you're cutting off by 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock. And if you're jumping straight into full fasting and it feels like too much, just start by finishing dinner earlier and then gradually extending the overnight break. The less energy your body spends on digesting food at night, the more it can focus on breaking down fat. Habit 9. Everything else so far has been about timing, sleep, food timing. We're going to shift it up for the final 2. 2 supplements, both backed by clinical research. The first is super simple, easy to find. It supports fat loss through blood sugar and insulin regulation. And then the second one, the most impressive fat loss trials I've seen, it's ACV. You down with ACV? Yeah, you know me. Apple cider vinegar. 1 12-week study, people taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of ACV daily lost between 2.6 pounds and 4.2 pounds. They trimmed 1.5 to 2 centimeters off their waistlines. They made no other changes to their diet or exercise. That's impressive. How does it work? Apple cider vinegar helps to support healthy insulin levels. It improves how the blood handles the sugar, the energy that's being put in, or the foods that are being converted to sugars. It also helps to slow down the digestion so that you stay more full longer, especially helpful if you struggle with late night snacking. Adding ACV for that dinner meal is crucial. So mix a tablespoon into a full glass of water. If it tastes too strong, add some lemon, add some cinnamon, add some stevia, add some baking soda, which actually is really good soother if you have digestive distress, GERD, acid reflux. Add that one in the combo of the 2 of them together. It's very interesting. It's like a sparkling water drink. Take it 15 to 30 minutes before your last meal, or you could take it just before bed. Now, an important note, don't drink it straight if you can help it, not just taking swigs. It's a bit acidic, okay? You can use a straw if you want to protect your mouth, protect your teeth. Rinse your mouth with water afterward to protect your teeth, right? If you do get burning or discomfort when you take apple cider vinegar, you probably have an irritation like an ulcer inside of your gut. You would then want to switch to collagen/aloe vera. Just a side note there, that doesn't work for every single person. Now, if you need a capsule form, because the liquid is just, I totally get it. I made a capsule form. I'll put it down below. It's organic apple cider vinegar. It also contains potassium because larger amounts of apple cider vinegar can lower potassium amounts over time. And it comes with probiotics in it. So it's a 3-in-1 to protect your gut so you don't get some of that burning sensation. Very easy to take. 3 capsules of it are equivalent to taking 1 tablespoon of the liquid. So it's an easy cheat. That link is below. Habit 10. ACV was the first supplement. Helps you burn fat while you sleep. The second is a real standout. Moringa. It's also known as the miracle tree. It's not just another trendy superfood. This is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. And when it's used the right way, especially at night, it helps support fat metabolism, blood sugar regulation, and better sleep. In one clinical study, people taking a Moringa-based blend lost nearly 12 pounds in 16 weeks, while the placebo group lost less than 2. A 6 times increase in fat loss. They also gained lean muscle. They dropped 2 inches off of their waist, and none of it with extreme diet changes. Now imagine if you can implement all these habits and really focus on clean eating. Now what makes it work is Moringa contains chlorogenic acid, which activates brown fat and it helps burn white fat. It's also loaded. If you have not the extract, you want the actual ground up leaves, okay? Fiber, B vitamins. They help support satiety. They help support metabolic rate. It's especially beneficial when you're over the age of 45, when that metabolism starts fighting you, start grinding the gears more, or naturally there seems to be a slowdown in metabolism. This will help reinforce it. Now here's where it gets interesting. Moringa also supports melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. It calms the brain pathways that help you sleep deeper, which means more fat burning overnight. So how do you take it? Easiest way is a capsule form. There's no prep, there's no mess, there's no grassy taste. You can open the capsule if you need to. You can add it to a smoothie or any kind of food. It's a clean taste, but it's earthy, grassy, like green tea-ish. But it works better when you put it just in a smoothie. You could put it into coffee if you wanted to, or just straight up plain water, just swallow the capsule. Now, we're wanting to max out the dose, so I formulated mine because I take this regularly, my wife does, and we wanted to make sure we got clean sources. I don't trust a lot of the sources out there, and one of the keys to really increase the nutrients, 92 different nutrients, 46 plus different antioxidants in Moringa, was to find the actual leaves and the plant that's ground down into a powder, not just one that's boiled or used chemicals to extract the nutrients out. You denature a lot of its goodness, not the antioxidants, but you denature the nutrients, the fiber and the vitamins when you use an extract. So that's why I don't like those claims of bottles you'll see where there's 10,000 milligrams. That's an extract, and it's actually not accurate either. So I formulated mine with 1,000 milligrams of the pure Moringa leaf powder based on the dose that actually works in the research. There's not inflated claims then. There's no other fillers. It's only the Moringa organic. There's no junk ingredients. And when you're choosing the right Moringa, I think you should look for organic to protect those leaves. And we want the leaves, not the roots. We want it grown in clean soil. We want it pure. Contains way more nutrients when it's pure like that than the extracts. And if you're using it for fat loss or for better sleep, take it about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime to tap into that natural melatonin support. It will also help to let your system wind down and shift into repair mode because you will have lubricated the gears of your system with all those antioxidants. If you need some help with that one, I also put a link for a Moringa. It is sold out 2 times, so you can be sure to grab it down below, or if it is sold out, put your name on the list. It will be back very soon if that's the case. It's extremely popular, very effective to help people support this. When you stack that kind of support that I just gave you, those 10 habits of things you can start doing immediately, I would love to know what your top one is. I'm lowering the temperature to 66 degrees. I'm putting a mask over my face. I'm trying night fasting. I'm going to add Moringa at nighttime. I want to know which one you're going to implement right away. But when you stack that kind of support on top of everything else that we've covered, from sleep to meal timing, to the metabolism, you give your body every advantage to burn fat overnight. But for a lot of people, that's just the start. If your goal is to lose a lot of weight quickly, say 20 pounds or 30 pounds or more, I get this question all the time. Dr. Living, I got 30 pounds to lose. What do I do? Then you'll need my daily habits to go with it. So in the next video, I will walk you through, it's a viral video, the full daily system, how to wake up in fat burning mode, what to eat, how to move, and the biggest mistakes to avoid. It's already helped nearly 1 million people, and now it can help you too, especially when you pair it with these nighttime habits of burning fat. If you're ready to start seeing results fast, click that video now to watch it next, and I'll see you over there.